I'd like to begin with a transition to the human foundation of any peaceful society, the conditions that allow life to flourish, turning to Dr. Bruce Stillman to speak about health, science, and human flourishing. Our first speaker, Dr. Bruce Stillman, is president and CEO of Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory, one of the world's leading institutions in biomedical research and education. His career has literally advanced our understanding of DNA replication and the biological mechanisms that sustain life. He brings a powerful perspective on health, on science, and on human flourishing as the essential foundations for peace. Dr. Stillman, could you enlighten all of us on why peace must be built on the conditions that allow human life to flourish?
Thank you very much, Lindsay, and thank you, Barbara. In Barbara's introduction, she mentioned innovation and sustainability and health, and all of those are rooted in deep science. I work on DNA, and in fact, all of us in the entire population on Earth are 99.9% related in their DNA sequence. We are all part of one humanity, and we should have a peace initiative that brings all of those people together. The variation between individuals is more within a local population is more than the variation between different races on Earth. And so this concept of differences is not rooted in our genetics and our history. And we are all one humanity. And in fact, human migration, is the norm and not the exception. And understanding that and educating the population about this and how we are all related, I think, is one of the roots of peace. We should be using science, and particularly DNA, to help peace initiatives and also conflict initiatives. For instance, DNA has been used to identify victims of war crimes. It has been used to help communities bring each other together who have lost connections through ancestry. And it has also opened up the opportunity to bring people who have committed war crimes to justice by analyzing DNA and other aspects of populations that have been pursued during wars. Promoting international scientific cooperation is therefore essential. One example is the large-scale Human Genome Project, where many, many countries came together to cooperate and sequence the human genome, and out of that has come enormous benefits for human health. But it wasn't just the human genome that was sequenced, it was many, many genomes. Genomes of small organisms such as fungi and bacteria, but also plant species and many other animal species. These have given us an enormous insight into the nature of life on the planet and allows us to think about sustainability. As we have climate change, we are going to have ability to grow plants and food in challenging situations on Earth that are changing all of the time. And genetics and plant biology is going to impact that enormously. It already is doing that at Cold Spring Harbor, where our plant scientists are working with people in Africa to modify and help develop plants that are native to their area that will be able to grow in challenging environmental conditions. So food security is going to be huge for understanding peace. And in fact, what most people really want and will avoid conflict is for them to have an economic viability and sustainability, which includes access to health and food. And if everybody had that, I think there would be less conflict in the world. So we have to promote international scientific cooperation. Just like Doctors Without Borders, we should have Science Without Borders. The idea is that scientists should get together and not only cooperate across countries, which has happened in a number of examples, but I think it also should be the case that we get together and educate the population. As we have seen in recent years, science has become under attack because of political situations and considerations. And the public have been bought into this because of social media and other aspects of propagating information across populations. And scientists, and in fact this initiative, should work cooperatively together to educate the population on what is actually the reality and not what they read in social media. And if we do that as a cooperative, a scientific cooperation across countries and across initiatives and institutions, I think we will enormously benefit the Peace Initiative. So I'm very pleased to be a part of this organization and part of the Cooperative for Humanity program. And I look forward to hearing my fellow panelists in their pursuit of the peace that we all seek. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stillman. One brief follow-up question. Your work has centered on the mechanisms of DNA and chromatin duplication, and you lead one of the world's major research and education institutes. From your vantage point, how should we think about health and scientific progress and as a foundational condition rather than separate from peace? And with that, does it matter that the United States has moved from being 69% of global R&D GDP from the 1960s to now being 27%? Is that yet another challenge? Thank you.
Yes, I think one of the challenges that we have at the moment is the support of science in the United States. It is under reduced support, and other countries are increasingly supporting science. That is not necessarily a bad thing because science has no borders and medicine has no borders. Infectious disease have no borders. And so the more scientists throughout the world that are working to try and address the health and medical issues and food sustainability, the better. Of course, we always have to worry about security, national security, and that is where maybe national boundaries do play a role in science. But for health and sustainability, I don't see any problem with working across nations. But the United States has been and is recognized to be one of the leading research countries that have ever existed. And the amount of science that has come out of the United States since the Second World War, when Vannevar Bush declared the new frontier of science, has been quite extraordinary. And I think we really need to continue that and have the United States being one of the countries that welcomes scientists, as I did coming from Australia to the United States 47 years ago to work, and it gave me extraordinary opportunities to do what I have achieved.
I'd like to do a very quick lightning round with each of our distinguished panelists to say in one simple sentence, what is the single most important contribution your field can make over the next 18 months? And then we'll move to closing. Thank you. Dr. Stillman.
Well, I think the best thing we could do in science and actually in all of these areas is education, educating populations across the world, and so supporting them to have an economic benefit that will help them avoid conflict. And to the point about AI, I think all revolutions have brought both negative and positive effects. And I think one of the things that we should do with AI is to really educate people on what AI really is, what its capabilities are, and how everybody can contribute to limiting the downsides of AI. So I think education is one of the things that we really need to focus on across all of these areas.